We're going to record because we put it up on YouTube. We record the sessions and all the things that go on here. Put it up on our YouTube channel. And by the way, you can see that at Keeping It Real Estate 1. That's the channel on YouTube. Or you can go to our website, which is keepingitre.com. Top right corner is connections to all of our social media outlets, including YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can get a hold of us there as well. Later in the show, we're going to do a mailbag segment answering questions from some of our listeners and consumers. And you can get involved in that by leaving us a question on any of those social media outlets we just talked about, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can also call us and leave us a voicemail at 562-888-BEACH. Or you can send me an email at the incredibly long address of keepingitrealestateonthebeach@gmail.com.
That is long.
It is long. I know it's long. That's okay. You know, it's I just screwed up. That's all. It's that simple.
And we just keep calling attention to it.
And that's right. And I'm not changing it now because it's all stuck. Everybody gets a hold of us on that, so I can't change it. I guess I can get another one and then have it forward to that one and keep everybody happy.
But then we can't torment
You
you.
know what?
We can't
All I
torment
do
you,
is
so
put
that's no fun.
KE
Damn it, I'm
and
the
then
coach.
Auto-populates to my, so.
Yeah, so once you put in keeping it real estate on the beach at gmail.com the first time,
Exactly.
then you can do it for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we do on the show? Mostly what we do is we answer the questions that consumers have about the real estate home buying and selling process. It is our goal to educate and empower consumers in this situation because for the most part, buyers and sellers have more questions than they have answers. And there's not a lot of places to get the kind of answers that are going to work for you. And we try to keep it real. That's the name of the show, Keeping It Real Estate. We want to give you what we believe is solid information and what's really happening today so that you can make a good decision. Because if you're going to go out and spend $400,000 on something, you might as well be educated about doing it. And that's what we do here. And since the process typically starts with the mortgage piece, we start the show off with the mortgage piece, and that's led by the mortgage mistress, Alyssa Alvarez.
And bad aim.
Our first topic, what is it, though, Alyssa with bad aim? Oh, my God.
Hit the one in the middle.
So what we're going to talk about in this segment is why it's an absolute must to order the budgets and CC&Rs, and you're going to have to tell everybody what CC&R is because it's not Creedence Clearwater Revival, even though it's not mandatory to do. So what Alyssa is saying is you don't have to do this, but it's very important, and it's an absolute must, according to the mistress, to order the budgets, which she'll tell us what the heck that is, and CC&Rs during the loan. Is this during the loan process or the qualification process? What is it?
This is basically when you're looking to purchase a condo.
Okay,
So
this is
every
buying a condo.
Right. They're going to have a homeowners association.
Okay, yeah.
And this is kind of
Well,
like a... think
some
of
of them
it as
will.
a student council of the project, okay? So like the
It's
little
the people who have
governing
lived
body.
there the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
And are the most
Not
opinionated.
Yeah.
Usually the most opinionated.
For the most
But
part,
ones who
they're
care,
a pain in the
basically, sometimes
you-know-what.
the ones that
Right.
care. Okay,
Not
so
all of you, of course.
there will be budgets,
talking about you.
which are basically the financials for this HOA.
How strong the homeowners association
Correct.
of this condo complex is.
Correct. And the CC&R is basically, those are all the bylaws.
And what is it? What does it stand for? Because we don't want
Who
to...
cares what it stands for?
Covenants,
That's it.
conditions, and restrictions.
Thank you very much.
There you
Because
go.
see,
Basically,
unlike
Kevin,
you,
help us.
Kevin help. Ladies and gentlemen, go to kevinhelpus.com and tune in to Kevin's questions. But no, CC&R's covenants, conditions and restrictions. Basically,
The
what you
rules.
can
And
and
cannot
can't
do.
The
do
bylaws.
as a condo owner, because condos are different. You only own what's inside the walls, not what's outside, and you barely own any of the walls themselves. So
Correct.
there are these things, and you don't have to know about them, but what you're saying is you should.
You should.
You got to know how strong that HOA is, meaning do they have money? Are they bankrupt? In some cases, do they even exist? Have people left?
Well, here-
Half the HOA was 8 people and 7 of them got foreclosed on, so now it's one poor sucker who doesn't know what to do.
You kind of brush up on the climate and basically today's environment in when you're looking at condos. Okay,
Right.
so you're either probably purchasing via government financing or traditional financing,
Okay.
FHA and VA or conventional.
Got it.
FHA and VA, they kind of have a built-in safe where if you're looking to purchase a condo, it has to be on an approved list.
Right.
Okay, so it has to be FHA approved or VA approved. So basically, the government is already vetting these HOAs for you. So it's kind of been done for you.
Right.
Well, what you'll see often is buyers who are looking in the condo market, they will try to go with conventional financing because right now it's really difficult to find a project that is FHA or VA approved.
Now,
due to these reasons of investors, living in there, you have to meet certain criteria.
Right. It's Frank. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the realtor in the room. Thank you. But selling a condo in Long Beach is a biatch. They're just not selling.
It's tough to sell to the finance, especially the VA or FHA buyer. But here's the thing: the reason that it would be difficult is because if it's not on that list, then that means the condo isn't up to the standard.
So you don't want it necessarily.
You might get a deal on something that as far as that condo itself and its condition. But what if the whole community as a whole is downtrodden? The lawn's not being cut. Things aren't being fixed. It's just
because the HOA is out of money. They can't pay the landscaper.
They don't have the reserves.
They can't pay the painter. They can't pay the roofer.
So one thing that a lot of FHA people who would have normally gone FHA are now trying to kind of get around that stuff.
Cash?
And going with conventional financing because technically you don't need to have. There is no conventional approved list.
Right. So you don't. They don't necessarily force you into
right. We will have to do what we call an HOA cert.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
where basically
so you evaluate
the HOA company fills out this questionnaire. Ours in particular is 6 questions. It's really simple, and that they charge you anywhere between $50 to. I've actually been charged $500 for 6 questions. Yeah. Anyways.
Ooh, I want that job.
They're supposed to fill this out and tell you what exactly those financials are. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you from experience. HOAs have lied. Okay, they have.
What?
Yes.
Shocking.
What?
Okay, they have lied on this.
Isn't there a liability against that?
They have lied on this.
Oh my
Bottom
God.
line. Or, and sometimes they may not know the person that's actually filling out. They may not be the person that's qualified enough to do it, but they're doing it.
Okay.
So what you need to do, just like your home inspection, it's not mandatory. But you should be doing your due diligence to inspect the structure, the piping, the walls, the roof. That's what the home inspection does.
Right.
Why would you check the structure of the property but not the financial health of it? And that's essentially what you're doing.
There's your nugget.
When you order the budgets and the CC&Rs. Now, CC&Rs you can find, that's public information.
That's no big deal.
Right. But
the budgets,
they will charge you for that. And you know what? A good indicator if that HOA might be a problem is that they're charging you an arm and a leg. I had one that charged us $650, and we're like, what? Shut the front door on that. And we finally get it. They're dragging their feet. We get it. It turns out they had no money whatsoever.
They had your $650 though.
Right.
They did. Okay, but here's what and
paid for the landscaper.
I get often is, well, why should I have to pay for that? Why it's so expensive? It's not mandatory. Because you're about to drop hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
You should invest, even if it turns out to be $650, to know whether or not you want to be in this project.
Well,
that's a good point.
And here's the other thing: you're going in, but eventually you're going to want to sell it. So you need to know the marketability of.
That's right.
On the sale side, if you get in, but the HOA is kind of sketchy. Mm-hmm. By the time you sell it, the HOA probably is going to be even sketchier.
Right.
And then you have an unmarketable property.
You may not find a sucker like you were.
Oftentimes, people who are buying condos are usually first-time home buyers.
Because they're cheaper.
They're cheaper.
Sometimes. With those HOAs, I'm telling you, in Long Beach, some of the HOAs are $700-800. That's just... your HOA is higher than your payment on your condo.
So
it's just
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
You this. If you're a first-time home buyer and you're limited, you're not a move-up buyer who may have more funds.
Right.
If your HOA went up by $100 a month, would that affect you? If your HOA went up by $150 a month, would that affect you? Oftentimes, HOAs, when they need money, they will raise your HOA fees. Okay, so if something like that will affect you, that is something that you really want to find out now before you get into that.
Right, because you're maxed out.
If you want that lawn to be cut, if you're paying $300 a month to have
I want the pool to be
cut,
clean, I want the lawn to be cut, and I want the windows washed.
You want it to be done. What if it's not getting done because they have no money?
Well, I think that, look, I understand, and I can picture the person buying the condo. I really want to buy. I want to live somewhere. I want to own something. This is all I can afford. I have a chance at this condo. I'm just going to look the other way and hope and pray. But that's the emotional part because I want a house. I want a house, and I can get this condo, and it's on the 7th floor, and it overlooks the beach, and all that.
Right.
But it's not smart. It's not the intelligent thing to do.
This is a business transaction.
Exactly.
Right.
Find out if that condo complex, that HOA, is in trouble. Because if it is, stay away.
Yeah.
Go away. Run, Forrest, run.
If the delinquency rate is anywhere from 15
What's the
to
delinquency
17,
rate?
How many people that are paying their HOA and how many people are just sitting back and letting everybody else do it?
So you can not pay the HOA
That's usually
dues.
the first thing people start
Yeah,
paying.
and that's when you're
Don't they
paying
kick
this
you out?
fee up front, and you're asking the HOA to show you or tell you what they believe the delinquency rate is. Let's say you have 100 units and 25 people aren't paying. Obviously, a 25% delinquency.
Okay.
25% of that building aren't paying their fair share of HOA to keep up the place.
Don't they get kicked out?
No. They can have liens filed against them and things like that by the association for not paying their. So then they go into foreclosure. That foreclosure has got liens on it. Usually the buyer that comes in, they're going to get those. Usually they're going to get wiped out.
Someone has to pay it.
You have to bring them up to date. To be
Whoa! So
well,
if I own a condo and I'm pretty sure that I'm in trouble and I'm going to let it go, I stop paying my HOA dues. They can't kick me out until. But the bank obviously can on the foreclosure side. But I could not pay HOAs for 20 years, and then when I sell it,
they probably wouldn't let it go that long.
Well, it could probably turn into a lien/eviction, I believe.
The HOAs. This is a relatively new phenomenon, so they don't have all the foreclosure mechanisms in place like the regular banks do. They have to outsource it. They've got to get an attorney. They've got to do a regular foreclosure. Wow. So we find that they're not as willing to do it. They just slap liens on, and the amounts just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So break it down, Lisa. Break it down.
If you're looking to purchase a condo,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you check the health of that HOA. Order those CC&Rs, and more importantly, the budgets. Order them, bite the bullet. Maybe even the seller will pay for them. I've had buyers get the seller to pay for them. Get it, hold of it, give it to your lender. We can review it for you and check it out.
Period. That's the facts, Jack. All right. That only means one thing. We're going to talk about foreclosures. And, again, Frank's topic may have come from something that happened to him
a personal rant.
It's kind of part
the
two.
week before.
Part two of
what we talked about last show.
I can't believe this happened all with one professional.
Oh my God!
Professional.
God, I wish we could name names on this show.
Please
someday I'm gonna get a show that's called Naming Names here on K Beach Global Radio on the beautiful campus of Long Beach.
Sounds like.
That's right, Naming Names, and we're gonna out everybody in the real estate industry that sucks. Nice.